myself, let's step it up a notch. Let's do better because I want first or second.
All right, Michael, and anybody else that's interested in hearing my take on art in general. I'm an artist. I'm not only an artist, I'm an art professor. And yeah, I have some thoughts on this video. So I'm currently moving, so that's why all the junk's behind me. And I wanted to say as well, it sounds like from your original post that you are somewhat upset about what you thought you should have done better. So I'm coming from the lens of that idea, like trying to give you constructive feedback on why you possibly didn't do as good as you thought you did. First off, so I'm going to come to this as from the lens of being an art professor. Like, I'm going to pretend that I'm your instructor. I'm your person that's teaching you how to draw and teaching you how to be a better artist in your art school, wherever you're at. And in your video, you noted that you wanted to do better than last year. So we'll start there. You want to do better than last time. And, first off is I would highly encourage you to let go of realism. Realism is only going to limit you. Realism isn't going to let you expand beyond an idea. So, there's so many ideas. I'm going to jump around here, but, so that's one thing. Recognize as well that within especially the two-dimensional art world, the drawing, the physical media art world, everything has been done. So it's really about your ideas is what's more important than the technique. Obviously, you have skills. You're very technically skillful. You're a talented artist. There's no question about that. But you've limited yourself. You haven't gone beyond your technical skill yet. You haven't started telling us your ideas yet. Like, why are these figures important to you? It seems all the figures that you drew are black people. So maybe there's something there that you can draw out more, that you could say, like, why are these people, obviously maybe you aspire, you're inspired, and maybe you aspire to be like them. But what is it about these figures that compelled you to want to draw them? What messages are you trying to say? So there's two ideas that I they're very related, and it's a growing kind of idea. But to go from making artwork, like, art is a big umbrella, right? But you want to make great artwork. Obviously, you said you wanted to get more awards. So you want to be able you want to do something it'll elevate your artwork to a place that you can be awarded for it. And so that's like you're starting down this path of wanting to do great artwork. And on Instagram, on TikTok, on places like this, obviously there's probably a ton of people that are telling you your artwork's amazing, but it's very limited. It's like you're not making artwork for the art world. You're making artwork for eye candy, for TikTok and Instagram. It's a completely different world. I'm hoping that we will start seeing more great art on these platforms, but right now, what's popular on these platforms isn't great art. It's just eye candy type stuff. And that's kind of the playground that we're working with right now with the artwork that you're showing us. And so I'd encourage you to find a message, find an idea, find something that you are passionate about and you want to tell the world about. And you're doing that through your medium and figuring out how to do that. Like, why are these figures important to you? What messages are they trying to say? So the two ideas that are important is like that right there. What are you trying to say? One thing about making great art. What is it that you're trying to say that you want the world to know? Like, what is that message that you want the world to know about? How are you using your voice to hopefully improve the world? Hopefully make the world a better place. How are you using your talent and skill to do that? The other thing is, how are you pushing the medium forward? How are you pushing the idea of art forward with your ideas? And like I said already, two-dimensional ideas, it's all been done. So it's like, it really relies on your messaging again. It really relies on, how can I take this idea? If you stay really attached to photorealism type of ideas, it's like, how can you then put a layer of something on it so that it hits us? It makes us go, like, it's not just visual. It's like there's thought behind it as well. So keep that in mind as you're going. And then one thing, ballpoint pen is, it's more of a gimmick, to be honest. when you're drawing with ballpoint pen in the art world, it's more of a gimmick than something that you take seriously. So if you want your artwork to be taken seriously, I encourage you to explore more traditional medias. Not to say you can't express with ballpoint pen, not to say that you can't create something great with ballpoint pen, but it's already going to put some limitations on the perception of the people around you and your professors and other people that are going like, yeah, okay, let's see you do the same idea with graphite, with ink, with like ink in a brush, with even Micron pens are taken more seriously than ballpoint pens. So keep that in mind, keep that in consideration as you're moving forward with your art career and what you're trying to do. And the other thing, you know, it's like, so going back to, you know, you said you got second place for last year, and this year you got honorable mention, right? So as your art professor, so again, I'm putting myself in the role of your art instructor, your art professor. So the first year I was like, oh, okay, this person has talent. I like what they're doing. I think I'm excited to see where they grow. And as an art professor, one of the things that I'm always striving for and looking for in my students is how are they growing with their artwork? And so right now with your artwork, even though you felt you did more, you added more background elements, maybe, I don't know what it is that you felt you did more, but to me looking at them, they're essentially the same thing. You did not do more than you did last time. Sometimes the barren back, you know, the negative space is actually more compelling than just adding more flowers and other things in the background. So keep that in mind. Like, even though you thought you did more, the viewer doesn't necessarily see that. I don't see it that way. All these pieces look look like they're all the same to me. So it's like, how do you push yourself beyond what you did before? And so since you already did one exhibition, you did one and you got an award for that one, when I see you do the same thing in the next award, the next place, the next award, in the next exhibition, I'm like, oh, well, he already did that, so I'm not really that excited about this. I wanted to see him go beyond this. So I encourage you to find ways to push yourself beyond what you've already done. And while you're in school is the best place to do that. Like, I hope you're taking the advice of your people around you saying, like, why don't you try this medium? Why don't you try that medium? If you feel like you're stubborn about trying different things because you want to just do this one thing, then why are you in art school? You shouldn't be in art school. You should at least be willing to experiment with ideas, take some things. You know, you don't have to take it all. You can take it and leave it. But if you're only going to do this one thing, you're not taking advantage of the fact that you're in art school to begin with. And then, so one of the things as well, even if you're not willing to go beyond moving away from the ballpoint pen and realism, scale makes a big difference to help us break away from these confines. So like right now, you look very confined by your realism. So how can you break out of that confinement? And one of the best ways to do that is just to get big. So like, I would say, do what you do, but make it, 5 times as big. Make it 8 feet tall by 6 feet wide. Like, what would happen? What message already, scale already, puts emphasis on the idea. So it's like, right now they're moderate sized drawings. So it's like, okay, he likes these people. He likes these figures. That's what he's conveying to me. But if he makes them larger than life, then you're already in that idea saying, okay, what else is he trying to say about this? He's putting more importance than me, than the viewer in this person. Like, this person is huge. And I'm like, why is this so important? So it gets me thinking about that. So we need to find more ways to get the audience thinking about what it is you're doing. So just to recap a little bit, find what it is that you're passionate about. Convey that message in your drawings. Don't get stuck in this Instagrammable, TikTokable, pictures of popular culture figures and stopping there, because that's where it's stopping right now. We need to go beyond that. And then also, like, how are you pushing the medium forward? How are you pushing your art practice forward as a whole and as a personal? So those are the things that I would want you to consider next time you're trying to create some art. 2 last things that I thought of. 1, don't frame your work. Framing your work already puts it in a place that it's not great artwork. You don't want to confine your artwork from being framed. So get rid of the frames, especially when you're doing exhibitions like that. And a little disclaimer, I'm not sure if you're in art school. I know I said you were in art school. I'm not sure about that. So take that with a grain of salt. Maybe somebody else watching this is in art school and can use this advice, but all my ideas still stand, regardless if you're in art school or not. I'll be your art professor for this this little session right now. Support independent art by following me. Peace, my friends.